Seems as if we had a little hiccup there. As I was talking, the Facebook feed just stopped. The video just stopped. So sorry about that. I hope we're back up online. If you're seeing this, please give a thumbs up or a comment to make sure that I'm being seen by you. I don't know what happened with Facebook there, but here we are back to it. Thank you. I see that we are being seen. What I had said earlier is that we have I did about 6 weeks ago conceive of the idea of having what's called collective meditation, intentional meditation, that encompassed not just one church, but for all that wanted to be a part of a united collective intent for personal healing, for expansion during this time that has been so difficult for a lot of folks that are feeling kind of hemmed in and isolated. We have an intentional meditation every Thursday night at 8 o'clock. I would issue you a warm invitation to be here. When this happens, it is called the Pathlighters. Name that came to me because we're lighting the path towards a new world. You know, all we do, all we say, all we think, how we express. I invite you to be there Thursday nights at 8 o'clock. I believe you'll be blessed by it. We're expanding, and it's a wonderful thing to collaborate with other like-minded churches and individuals. We also have a Sunday evening book study. Occurs at 7 o'clock Sunday evenings, and we're studying books of a socioeconomic idea of social justice and equality, and what does that mean during this time. It's a very thoughtful group. It's one that where opinions get expressed, and we come together to learn what it means to live the truth we know into these social issues that are happening. So I invite you to be a part of that Sundays at 7 as well. So we have Pathlighters meditation Thursday at 8 and Sunday book study at 7. And I will be teaching a class called Love 101 starting Wednesday, September the 2nd, this upcoming Wednesday. All invited. It's a class I've wanted to teach for some time, and it came to me during meditation and prayer that this was a time to do it. And so it's starting September 2nd, going for 6 weeks. All you have to do is text, let me know, send email to unityofboerne.org, ask about it on Facebook, ask to be included. It's going to be 6 weeks, I hope, of greater understanding and greater awareness of what we are called to be and what we truly are in this time. So I hope to see you, and that's Wednesday nights at 6:30. It'll be done via Zoom. So I look forward to seeing you at Love 101. As I say, I believe it will strengthen our understanding of who we are and what our mission is in the world, and where and what this wonderful feeling called love comes from, and what it means, and why is it here, and what do we do in its many expressions, and many things. I'm getting ahead of myself. I already want to teach the class. I love it. So please join Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. I'd like to start with a prayer this morning. Before I read the daily word. There have been so many affected by many of the societal things that are happening right now, from hurricanes to the pandemic. It just seems like one thing after another. And to those who are displaced in Louisiana, I want you to know I affirm, and I know my church affirms, and I know that every person of goodwill affirms and believes that your best is yet to come, and that this situation is relative, and that your correct and right place is reestablished to you. And I know that you're going through heart-wrenching times right now. Well, we want to remember that as we pray this morning. So please join with me right now. Our Heavenly Father, Mother God, we give thanks for your presence in our lives and in the lives of the dear ones who have faced disruption, upset, seeming chaos, and harm at the hands of this storm and this pandemic. We ask that your presence be manifest in their lives through love, care, understanding of one another, shining outward to everyone with whom they come in contact. We ask restoration. We know that you are constantly remaking and renewing your world through us, through the power of our thoughts. We affirm our intention, and it is loving. We give thanks for this presence that guides us every day of our lives, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We invoke your presence, we affirm your presence, and we see your perfect will being done in the lives of these dear ones. We give thanks that it's done as we believe, and that you're here with us now, and so it is. Our daily word this morning is home blessing. I bless my home. More than just rooms and walls, my house is my home. I bless my home by making it a place of warmth, comfort, and welcome for all who enter it. With care and attention, I create a warm and lively environment, and I find joy in opening my doors to my friends and family in the spirit of hospitality. I bless my home with positivity and conviviality. My home is filled with love and joy, and I feel blessed to relax into its comforts. My home is a sanctuary of peace where I can deeply feel my connection with God. Even if I am away from my house, my spiritual home is always available to me whenever I consciously commune with God. I make my home in the love and peace of God. I am blessed to always find comfort in the home of my heart. The scripture reading is from Isaiah 32, verse 18. My people will abide in a peaceful habitation, to secure dwellings and in quiet resting places. And I am glad that the daily word kind of dovetails with what I wanted to talk about this morning, which is the best place to be. We think sometimes about where we'd like to go, things we'd like to experience. All that's wonderful. It's part of living to want to explore, to want to, right now, just get out and live life differently than we have for the last few months. Home right now can seem to be sort of a place that we're there all the time because we're doing our parts through social distancing, through trying to take care of ourselves and other people during this pandemic. We're looking, most of us are trying to look out for one another and looking out for ourselves. So the best place to be that I feel is not just home, but it's where you are and where you are in your life right now. This is a sermon of, not a sermon, I hope, a message of affirmation as well as honoring where you are right now. In other words, affirming that you grow where you're bloom, where you're planted. Home is a state of mind. And ultimately, home, and I got a message that said that the video stopped abruptly. I know that. When I first started it, I was 3 minutes into it, and I guess Facebook had a hiccup. But hopefully you're seeing it now. That home is more than four walls or a room or whatever. I've heard it be expressed as portable paradise. Something that you take with you wherever you go. In other words, your true home is inside. Thank you for letting me know that it's being seen. I appreciate it so much. I appreciate all of you that are here this morning. I love and miss you so much. And please know that. The portable paradise I'm talking about is a place where you get to set an intention and forgive and love who and where you are and what's going on in your life. You know, they say the quickest way, the most efficient way to change your circumstances is to love them, to affirm them, to bless them for the lesson that they contain. You know, some years ago I heard it talked about by especially licensed chemical dependency counselors. They would talk about the geographic cure, how people in 12-step groups sometimes, and it's been done outside of that, the idea that we go somewhere else and things will be different. We leave one place to go to another and we'll be happy and we'll get better because we've changed our location. But we find that we take ourselves with us wherever we go. So that's why I talk about the portable paradise. It's what's in you that you have access to all the time, and what you fill it with, what you fill your mind with, and ultimately your soul with, is going to bear fruit on the outside. So right now, if we are resentful and sort of angry and upset because of where we are and what we have to go through, then we're going to find more reasons for that, because it's very difficult, if not impossible, to feel love and fear, love and anger, love and frustration at the same time. So, and it's also like being of a dual mind. One of the things that Christ Jesus said is, be of a single mind, be you renewed by, or be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So mind, we know, is everything. If there wasn't mind, our minds and divine mind, which are truly one, then there would be no outside to even perceive. There would be nothing that we're even going through. So we bring ourselves to the situations in our life, and our human understanding, we think, if I change a location, if I change a job, change a partner, change a relationship, change the way I get up in the morning, go to bed at night, whatever it may be, that's going to make me happy. And it may be the flashpoint that makes you happy or helps you start on your journey, but that in and of itself isn't going to give you the lasting benefits that I'm talking about this morning. The benefit I'm talking about this morning is to realize something that I have said many times before in other ways. All that you give is given to yourself. You first feel it. You first know it, because it happens inside. And when that happens, then what you give away is what you are. I've heard it said by a great teacher that if you squeeze an orange anytime, what's going to come out is orange juice. Never tomato juice, never grapefruit juice, because it's what's inside to give is orange juice. So if situations and circumstances squeeze on you and out comes frustration, resentment, upset, that's because you're carrying that right now. Now, this isn't a guilt trip. It's to help make life work better, because the beautiful thing about this is that you can change your thoughts on a dime. You truly can. You carry inside you the gift of choice. And I think about J. Martin Coe, who wrote this book in the early 50s called Your Greatest Power. He said it was your power to choose. And I'm pretty much of a like mind, because we're choosing all the time whether we know it or not. We've just put the choice maker sometimes on autopilot. And it follows the general feeling we have at the time. So if we're feeling sort of negative and not so great, our choices are going to mirror that, because that's our intent. But if we set an intent to find the good in ourselves, in other people, in circumstances, in places, in things, find the gift. I'll give you an example of that. I actually do some of these things that I'm talking about. No, really, I do this. I was sitting this week, or last week, excuse me, in a doctor's office. Of course, we had masks, and very few people were there. It was a routine thing, and people were far apart from, we're doing all the right things. Well, I was sitting there and I was thinking, this just isn't where I want to be. It's not, nobody's here to talk to, the doctor's going to call me back in a minute. We got to stay apart. Not shake hands, not say hello. And all of a sudden, I noticed a magazine on the table. And there was an article in there that appealed to me. And what I found out in that article was something that I had asked of myself a question about for a long time. And there it was in the pages of the magazine. All of a sudden, I felt appreciative. And I even asked the receptionist, could I take that magazine with me? Or could I make a copy? Anything so I could have the information. All of a sudden, it changed. It was a subtle thing. It was just a small shift, but my whole mood changed. And when I met with the doctor and we went through this, I felt different. I felt up just on the fact that I found something by serendipity that I'd wanted to find, and in those pages that flipped my mood. I was sort of living on autopilot because I was in a doctor's office and I didn't really want to be there, and I certainly didn't want to be there in a pandemic, and I certainly didn't want to, have to be so far apart, not talk to people. So you see, it is so much about choice. We are on autopilot so much, and it blinds us to the love, the wonder, the joy, the peace, the beauty of the world outside us. Even right now, it's a beautiful world. I notice that, pandemic or not, the sun rises and sets. The trees still do their thing. The grass still grows. The life is still going on. And I think that the quickest way out of our situation is to honor the place we are right now and say, yes, this is true about me and I can grow. State the fact if you need to. If it's a place that's less than what you want, if it's not what you want to express, nothing wrong with saying it, but then add to it, and I can grow, and I can make a new choice, and I can begin another direction. That's empowering. But if we say, this is where I am and I'm stuck and it's sad and I'm depressed, and there's nothing I can do. Notice what we have to do is almost a sigh that comes with it, change in the body language. We kind of ball up, and you kind of go into a lowered mood state. But when we're happy and joyful and we get erect inside here and we take in fresh breath and we smile and we say, this is where I am and this is where I affirm that I want to be. And then your actions start lining up with your intent based on your choice. Jesus Christ taught this. All the people that he walked into to be healed, they had one thing in common. They had been in a certain way for a long time, and they probably couldn't see the way out. It wasn't that Jesus talked them out of their mood. It wasn't that he gave them proscriptions and prescriptions. It was his presence. The love that came out of him, the place inside him, the place he was so wonderfully grounded and full of unconditional love that people were healed in his presence. He could touch them or not. But it was again, I'll say, a flash point, a point of contact between Jesus Christ and the people that he touched. And he promised that spirit would be with us even after his physical body was gone. That's grace. That's today. We have access to that today. That's an exciting thought. Electricity is not very exciting until you flip it on. You don't see it. You don't taste it, smell it, but it's a power and an energy that's there. And when you flip the switch in the house, it lights up. And you appreciate electricity. You have a greater source of power in you, the God power in you, that awaits your flipping the switch, that awaits your contact with it. And how you do that is uniquely yours. Don't let anybody tell you that there is a proscribed, only one-way method to do this. Generally, people that do that are invested in keeping your identity something that they're comfortable with. True growth lets a person expand the way they want to. True love, rather, lets people expand the way they want to, the way their God self is seeking expression. As long as you're not hurting anyone else, you have the right and the responsibility to live your own life without having to apologize to other people for it. This is your life, and it's yours to make choices with. And I'm here to help you facilitate the best choices that you can make in a given time. And one of the things that I want to remind folks of is that they have a choice at any moment to touch the hem of the garment that was Jesus Christ. Does that sound strange? Do you really think it was the garment, or was it the belief and the intent and the choice of the person? To me, it wasn't the garment. It was the love that asked and the love that answered. It was the belief. It was the choice. The woman who touched the hem of the garment believed that she could be in a better place. She wanted to be in a better place. She needed it. She felt desperate. And she touched that garment. It wasn't the garment. It was the act of belief in love. I'm asking you to believe in the love you are this morning, and know that wherever you are, you're in the best place, because it's designed for your growth. If you're saying to yourself, I've made so many mistakes, I messed it up, and it's hopeless, then what you're saying is that God's plan doesn't work. You have a unique role to fulfill, a destiny to live out that no one else does. We talk so much about oneness. I do, because I love it. We forget sometimes about the individual. The individuals make up this oneness. You have to honor yourself and your choices and your desire to grow before you can be an effective part of a collective. Because if we have a bunch of people that feel guilty and shamed and upset about their lives, and they come into the collective, it's going to bring the whole thing down, because they're feeling as if they're not good enough. You are good enough. You are more than good enough. You are good enough because you're here, because you draw breath, because you're watching this, because you're living. And the best place to be is the place you are and the choices that you'll make. I feel passionately about this. I feel passionate about human potential, because it was said to me by a very special man in my life, the Reverend Jack Boland, who was a Unity minister in Boerne, Michigan for many years, and I was honored to call him friend. We talked many times, and he said to me, Jay, when you believe in yourself, you're believing in the God who made you. How could it be otherwise? Separation is something we erect, because the world says we standardize, homogenize, pasteurize. We need you to fill a certain role. We get so much in our defined ideas and positions that we forget we have a free spirit inside that's able to choose another way. Even in the midst of a pandemic, in the midst of whatever's going on, you get a chance to choose again. Course of Miracles says, choose once again. If you're not experiencing love and joy and peace, you get to choose and heal that split right then. It always comes back to us, doesn't it? Seems like it's a do-it-yourself project. And I think the ministers that are the most effective honor the individual choice of the person, rather than saying you must follow this certain way. There is no the way. There is only what resonates inside you. What I say lights you up. What makes you feel most alive at any given point. That's the best place to be. So even if you're expressing today in not a way that you'd like, it's still the best place to be, because this is your opportunity to make a new choice. The rest of your life could be the best of your life from this moment on, because you decided to and determined to think a new thought. a new set of thoughts, a new way of living and being. Now, how does that work? What does it mean? Does it mean affirmations? Yes. Does it mean doing outer things different? Yes. But first, it means changing the fundamental idea about yourself to say, I am all right as I am loved, I am a living individualized expression of God. And through that power, I intend different choices for myself. I intend, and then lay it out there and add this or something better for the highest good of all concerned. I call it the divine insurance policy. In other words, you're open to what happens beyond a myopic view you may have at the time, or the excitement of starting out, or maybe leaving something out, or whatever. You get to feel like I'm open for the highest good of all that come in contact with me. The presence, the power, the wonder, the majesty of Christ Jesus is inside you. It's latent and it's waiting to be called forth. You get to do that. You get to do that by choice. You get to do that because you are a divine, choice-making individual. Let no one talk you out of that. Let no one tell you that you need grace that only they can provide, or that it's something, that only their group can give you. That's not true. It's available, equal, everywhere. It's just sometimes we get so ingrained in our own thought patterns and things that hurt, or things that feel like familiar, that we don't think there's a way out. Happiness is a thought away. And I didn't say it was an easy jump, but it's there. It's a discipline. We're in this life form to learn about ourselves and about other people. And also during however many trips around the sun we have, we're here to enjoy the gift of who we are. And the way we do that is to make different choices, to course correct. If we make mistakes, that's a very common thing. You're going to make zigzag. You remember you don't probably remember when you were a child learning to pick up a pencil, but you probably zigged and zagged and you dropped it, and finally you became adept at it. Well, that's one thing for children, but it's another thing to condemn yourself for trying to learn and grow where you are and making a few mistakes along the way and condemning yourself for it. You see, a child doesn't know to condemn themselves for it. The innocence says, I'm just going to learn to pick it up. It doesn't matter how many times, and probably not remember it. I just know I want to pick up the pencil. We lose that innocence as we get older. It's called maturity. And while I'm all for it, I'm not for the things and the people and the ideas that say you made mistakes, you've done it wrong, and it's really, you have to do it only one way, and all these life-crushing ideas. No, your life is a canvas to paint, and the best place to be is just where you are, and to make the choices that affirm and honor the very best in you. You're no surprise to God. You have a wonderful life to live. And no matter your circumstances, and some may be more difficult than others, you have every right and a responsibility not only to yourself but to the rest of us to give your best, to live your best life. Because when you're happy, you're going to join with other people that have happy energy, and you're going to lift the water level for all of us. The sea level, our boats will all rise on the basis of the fact that people have made a choice to grow and to honor the very best and highest within themselves. I hope that this morning something I've said gives you an opportunity to think about something that you have said to yourself, this is it, I'll never be different, and I can't do it. This one may be something you've tucked away for a long time. You don't even want to think about it. And it's that thing that's going to stay with you. This divine discontent is going to be with you until you perhaps open that box and look at it and at least be willing to see something different. Doesn't matter how small, doesn't matter how large. You have the power. You have the power of choice. You're in the best place to be for your growth, for your unfoldment, for your advancement, for your life. It may be hard to see right now, but you're there. Make that choice. And know that the best place to be is wherever you are, where you're exercising your God-given potential to love, be loved, to grow, and to honor other people in their growth and in their path. I give you blessings of peace this morning. And I hope and pray and affirm that during this time you will find something very special inside you that rings your bell, that lights you up, that you say, if I hadn't been going through this, I wouldn't know it was there. What came as something against me turned into be something for me. Life, the do-it-yourself project, not really. The God presence in you does it with you. You're a co-creator. So get out there and create your best. Be safe and know you're loved. And so it is. I'd like to talk a little bit about next week. We're going to have a guest speaker. Bertie Shalker has agreed to help me for a week while I take a little time off. We're doing a lot of ministry right now. We're reaching out in ways that we haven't done before. This is not something that we're following step by step. We're having to sort of invent new ways to minister as we go. And we've started, as I said, the Path Lighters, the book studies. I'll be starting the class September 2nd, Love 101. This is a class that I taught in the mid-90s. I've done it 3 times, and as years go by, I refine it somewhat, but the basic material stays the same. Some people have asked me, do you need a book to be part of it? No, you don't. It happens to be that there was a book by my friend Peter McWilliams called Love 101. It happened to be the same title, and that material is very good, and some of that will be in this class, but you don't need a book to join. You just need your presence. It's 6:30 to 7:30 on Wednesday nights for 6 weeks. So I look forward to seeing you on Wednesday, September the 2nd, as we start this class, Love 101. And so Bertie has graciously consented to help me with just one day off. And I'm going to take a little time and sort of refresh and renew. So please tune in next week. I'm sure she will give what she always does, a great message, and help me out with a little bit of rest. Now I'd like to do something a little different this morning than we've done in the past. I say we take our gifts in our hands, and we do that at church. And I almost has said, if you don't have your tangible gift in your hand, and then visualize what you are thankful for. But let's do it this way this morning. I want you to think about the highest and the best thing in your life right now. I want you to have the feeling that you feel when you think of it, or when you're thankful for it. Because what we feel replicates. So it's a point of contact to put it in your hands, but to just be in a state of gratitude, and you're going to hopefully give a gift, because in Unity of Boerne we do rely on your offerings. There's a PayPal button. There's if you prefer to send it through the mail, there is Unity of Boerne, P.O. Box 1973, Boerne, Texas 78006. You can send your gift there. But just be thankful. Even if you have your gift and you're going to give it, or it's another room, whatever, just be thankful right now for the place you're in, and think about the highest and best vision of yourself, And as we repeat the giving and receiving affirmation, think about your own personal expansion. Yes, we need your gifts, your love offerings, your donations, your tithes, but we need your growth. I want your growth. I want to see you happy and healthy and prosperous. So I ask you, with the best vision you can have of you, that you say, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I send it forth with my blessings and my love. I give thanks for each one of you. I love you all. And I've said, if there's anything that I can do for you, please don't hesitate to let me know. And I look forward to seeing you at the class on Wednesday evening. Then Sundays, this next Sunday, a week from now, we'll have Bertie that gives a message, and then I'll be back the Sunday after that. But it's wonderful to be with you. And together, let's feel the intent of the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. I give thanks for each and every one of you. Thank you for sharing this moment and this morning with me. And remember, where you are right now is the best place to be. You just have to discover that for yourself and make it that way. God bless each and every one of you. I give thanks for you, to you, and so it is.